Check one, check two. Yeah, you saw that moved. Yeah. I'm making this. Yo, that's pretty ghetto. I don't know. It's just right there. Can you see it? All right, you should be able to see it now. Maybe the reflection. Anyway, there's like a car and then it has Uber written on it in like the dust or the dirt. But hey, they making their money, whatever. What's up? Let's do the intro. Yeah. I told you I was gonna do it. Gonna make some theme music. Yeah. It's another Friday, I'm happy for that. Before we chat, I'ma give y'all the recap. I was working in Japan and I take care of my sick dad, cause in January of this year my mom passed. Don't know when I'll return back. Time will discern that. Of course I miss Tokyo, my home, no cap. I think I answered all the questions that the folks at who watch my videos and wonder why your boy's back. I take it day by day, don't live in the past and keep shit moving like poop, but that's that. Rhyming. All right. So, if anyone out there knows this song, it's a Jamaican song. I think it was a remix. I don't know. I want to say Buju Banton or Beanie. It's not a Beanie, but it goes, you got the good, the bad, the ugly, and the crazy. Got the good, the bad, the ugly. Sounds something like that. It doesn't work when I use whatever the hell that thing is, Shazam. It'd be like you ain't singing the right song. So I'm gonna put this video under this. So the good, tomorrow's payday. It's always good. The album is finished. I've been listening to it on repeat I finished on Wednesday, so I just been listening to it. I mean, what had happened was I finished, and then I started editing, and then I would listen to it, go to work, come back, take some notes. I never really did that before, but I was really, this part, usually I just leave it. Whatever I record, or whatever ends up, but this time I went back in there and I was remastering it. I pulled out a mastering app I had, Ozone. I had it for like 2 years. I bought it, forgot about it, and I was watching my videos. But anyway, I used it, so now, like, it hits. If you were to play it back to back with my old ones, you can see there's a big volume, but it's not like a loud volume. Because the first one I did, I had the bass way up because I like the bass, but it just was like. So I took that down. You could EQ it in your own system. So that's the good. And even what's better, I there's 10 tracks, so I was going from 1 to 10, but then I reversed it and went from 10 to 1, and it was like, shit, I should have ordered it this way. Because the way I have it now, it kind of goes from soft and subtle. Thanks for the light, man. It went from soft and subtle, and then it kind of ends on a high note. It's not really a high note, but it just, the mood, it ends, it's like going this way. Boom. But if you play it backwards, it goes, like, it just works. So yeah, check that out. I uploaded it to the DSPs like iTunes, Spotify, and all those people, Amazon. I'm gonna upload it on YouTube too, and I'm gonna put it on Bandcamp, but it'll be out there, so if you want to hear it, it'll be there. So that's the good. The bad. So today I had my therapy session, and I could have swore she said 5 o'clock. So I left my work at 3, got home around 4. It takes forever to get home. Got home at 4, said hi to my dad. Like, the therapy thing is close to my work, but I want to go to my house and say hi to my dad first, because I just don't, he's been alone in the house all day. So I went back home and said, hey, Dad, we're talking. And he's like, all right, don't be late for your appointment. And then I went back there. There was all this stupid-ass traffic. I get there. I get to the parking lot. I usually work on some music. And then I go in there, I sit in the couch, and then I check my emails, and the email said, so it was like 4:49 or whatever at that point, 4:50, whatever. I check my emails, it goes, hi, Matt. I just wanted to see if you're coming to the appointment. She wrote that at 4:30. Now, technically, I was in the parking lot at 4:30, more or less, but I was working on the music. So I just felt one, I don't like when people do that to me, forget appointments. And I wrote it down. I looked at my phone. I wrote 5 o'clock. So I was just like, argh. But, there's no anger towards her. It's not her job to call me. And it was 100% my fault. So the next appointment, because normally we have the session and at the very end, she's like, okay, what time? But next session, it'd be like, what time? And then have it because, I'm basically, we always run right up to the last minute. As I'm walking out the door, she's like, no, just, so that's the bad. The good, the bad, the crazy. So, my kids at the school, I don't got kids, right? Tomorrow's like a Halloween party or whatever. And I was going to get donuts, but it seems at this school, on your birthday, you bring donuts. So someone's birthday was today. They brought donuts. So I was like, I'm not going to bring donuts. So I was going to bring I told him I'm bringing donuts, but I'm like, I'll get him some Oreo cookies, like double stuff. Cause I've seen it, like the orange Oreo, like Halloween, but I couldn't find any. I went to 2 supermarkets. I'm at Giant, the place I used to work. And so I was going to get him like the birthday Oreo or the mega. And I was looking at so this is crazy. So I looked at the calories. That shit was like 180 calories for 2 cookies. Like, I can't, because they're going to bring stuff too. And you should see what they eat in their lunches. But like, who is that guy? Who is talking right now? I'm worried about the calories for my kids. But yeah, I don't want them. I mean, I was planning to buy like apples, 1 apple for each student, but that would be all heavy and shit. Buy some organic food, but they'd be like, why? So I ended up getting them Kit Kats because I like Kit Kats. Got them pumpkin Kit Kats. And I got them a little bag of Oreos, 100 calories per bag. Isn't that crazy, man? I mean, they're going to have a bunch of junk food anyway. And then maybe they eat at the house, but I just can't contribute to it. That's crazy. All right, so the good, the bad, the ugly, and the crazy. I'm sorry. Well, that's crazy. The ugly is my school. Maybe, I guess it's ugly. So the company that hired me, it was like I don't know what you call it, an agency that they find people. They hired me. They put me in the school. Before all that, they trained me. This is what you're going to do there. This is the system. Please go over it, learn it. And I'm not an overachiever, but we get paid training. So I was sitting home doing all this extra training. Stupid modules, 3 hours per session. I did, 20 hours of those, whatever. So I go in there ready. My mind is ready. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. And it's kind of like if you read a book about how to parallel park or whatever. You could read it, but until you're in the seat and the guy or the woman is next to you with the little clipboard watching you, it's a whole different ball game. So I just needed to practice with the kids using the system, and it's like a computer. But when I got to the school 6 weeks ago, the teacher was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I called the company. They're just like, just sit tight, Matthew. So I'm sitting tight. I ain't worried so much because, I get to learn the kids' names, learn the culture of the school. But, yeah. So I meet the other teachers and they're also equally flabbergasted. And then we have this meeting, I think it was last week, and they're just like, okay, this room in here, it's Vegas. Whatever what happens in this room stays in this room. So I felt a little comfortable because I'm pretty sharp when it comes to these situations. I watch, I'm not going to tell you until you ask. And when you ask, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I might say it slowly. And I might give you room to breathe. But, I've been taking mental notes. So I say, I'm here doing my job, but most of the time it's just yelling at the kids. I don't yell at the kids, but it's kind of like, don't do that, Johnny. Don't do that, Johnny. And then Johnny's like, okay. And then Johnny does it. That's what we do. That's what the teacher does. That's what we do. Now me, I don't know. I give off an error. So I could just look at the kid and they usually stop doing it. Now they'll do it again because you just got to keep staring at the kid. I got shit to do. So I'm trying to explain to the lady, like, hey, listen. So it's a person from the company that hired me, the trainer, and then the person who's managing the system at the school. And then some other lady. I don't even know who she is. Anyway, so I'm explaining, and then the principal came by. And I got the feeling that they already know that everything is just a shit show. I got a song called Welcome to the Shit Show. And I'm all right with the shit show because, as I always say, or at least how I feel, is in Japan, it was kind of like that. You can go into a school and the company like, we want you to do X, Y, and Z. But when you get there, you got to do what you got to do. The company's not going to come. And then on the day that the company comes, they like call the principal, we're going to come see your school. And then the principal tells the teachers, these people are coming to the school, and everyone's all best. And then they go back to how it was. I'm used to this kind of shit. So that's nothing new. And it is what it is, because it means it's up to you to make it work, and I can make it work. I mean, because the problem was they have all this sophisticated training and modules in a way, but it won't work when the kids are not listening. So I was just confused. Do you want me to do what I do, or you want to let them know what you want me to do so then they make space for it? So I left the meeting saying, okay, I told them, I spoke my piece. And then I want to say it was that Monday. So maybe the meeting was on Tuesday, and then the following Monday, we got an email. Or Friday night or something shit. The email is like, on Monday, you will teach using our system. Okay. I show up on Monday, because at this point, I don't have anything. I show up on Monday, and the teacher's like, okay, you're going to teach? What are you going to teach? It's like, I thought you would have it. So she's calling people. I'm calling people. We're getting no answers. So then I run to go find the other people. I tell them, like, oh, we just gradually go into it. Just don't worry. But the teacher, she's the teacher I work with. She's like, well, they said you got to teach. You got to teach, because I'm not doing shit. Because there's some angst between the teacher and the principal and the company. And maybe there's a little bit for me, although I'm innocent. I'm just a pawn in all this. So, and like, I'm teaching 5th and 6th graders, and this material's for 1st and 2nd. Throughout the training, the lady would, all the trainers would say, and when we take care of the kiddos, the little kiddos, the cute kiddos, but these ain't kids, these are little tweens. Little tweens. They sleep in class, they talk back, they give sass to the teacher, not me so much. And they got issues and all that. You know, they're kids. Like one kid, he'll be standing in front of me. I'm like, all right, is that your seat? He says, no. And he just stands there. I say, hey, you're not going to go back to your seat? I was. And he always got an excuse. And they don't know who they're dealing with. Because you could have an excuse if it's good. Like I went to go get tissues. I'm like, where's the tissue? And he goes to the garbage can. Over there. So you got me. I can't prove if that's your tissue or not. And then for the kids who play on their iPads, like, I don't know, this dude, his whatever app he was using, I think it was like a baseball game thing. And it's a blue screen, so it shines a blue light on him. So it doesn't matter where I'm standing. If I'm looking over and I see that there's a blue tint on his face, so I walk over and I just turn the app, like I just turn it, I exit out. He's like, oh man, you know, you're not supposed to be on it. One guy, he'd be like the Fonz, or no, I don't say the Fonz, but he's cool, you know, a leader, if you may. And I'm like, dude, can you go back to your, no, I don't even say dude. I'm not letting them call me bro. No dudes. I'm like, can you go back to your seat? He said, why are you going to go back to my seat? Because I'm asking you. He said, why are you going to go back to me? I said, I could probably take your iPad. No, I can take your iPad and no one's going to do anything about that. It's a mild threat. He doesn't go. I said, listen, man, I'm not going to yell at you. And I'm not going to ask you again. And then he says, Mr. Bailey, I respect that. Other teachers would be yelling at me and stuff, and you're going to change the world. Now, he could be sarcastic. But my whole thing is, respect is given and it's earned, and it could be taken away. He's a student, and he's young. I'm not trying to run his life. I'm just a messenger of bad news. But he went. But yeah. So the kids, they're kind of in the bad and the crazy. But the ugly is, so I'm in a school where I was trained, I'm there to teach them reading, as I said before. But because the school is the way it is, the teachers, they don't get breaks. They're with the kids from the time they get in there to the time they leave, or till the kids leave. And then they got to do the parent conference things and all that. So they're really busy and stressed. There's not a lot of supplies. There's not enough money, funding, all this other bullshit. So the company that hired me said, okay, Matthew is going to take care of lunch duty. So during lunch, the main teachers can eat for 30 minutes in peace. So the other teacher's like, I wasn't hired to be a lunch cafeteria person. I'm like, whatever. As long as you're paying me, I don't care. But the problem is, my kids know me, so I could call them by name and say, sit your butt down. The other kids, little first, second graders, third, fourth, they don't know me. And the little kids, I'm not trying to scare them. So if I go into and I just start yelling at them, they start crying, because that's what their teachers do. Yeah, they'll probably be good, but now they're going to think I'm like death. Death. Like the girl today, I'm walking around and they're trying to give me a hug. Like that's how I'm coming off. Friendly guy. Because I just rather them, they're not my kids. And I just met them. Like there's no way to establish control in this scenario. And the other teachers, they don't even come out until the very end. Like they don't give a shit. And then the kids are like, can I use the bathroom? And the teachers are always like, no. And one kid wet themselves in a chair. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And then the other teachers, the teachers that were hired with me, they don't want to do it. So they don't even come to the cafeteria. So it's just me running between the little kids and then my kids. My kids are jumping up and down and I'm running over. Could you sit down? And I'm coming back over here and the little girls are screaming. Like, would you stop screaming? And I come back over here. Oh, can I? No. And then the lunch lady, she's like, they can't be coming up here to get paper towels. I'm like, but no one told me. See, that part, it's just ugly. And then the teachers come out. How was it, Matthew? You know how it was. That's why you're hiding back there. And then they kind of set up the law saying, okay, the kids need to sit in their seats. When they come out, the kids are out of their seats. Like, you got to get them in your seats. And I'm like, and how do I do that? I'm one person. I'm not going to talk to their parents. And some of their parents are not the ones to be talked to, They're just, So, yeah. Now, as I said, I get paid. And the other teachers are working because their teachers they work with have a plan for them. My teacher is just kind of like, can you stand here while I go to the bathroom? I'm like, okay. Can you copy these papers? Okay. And the rest of the time, I'm just working on my scales and shit, or the album release, or just thinking his thoughts or whatever. But yeah, anyway. So there we go, man. That's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the crazy. Album coming out next week. Really excited. I know it's my album and I know I just made it, but I want to say it's probably the best album I've ever made. Like, I took all that shit that's been going on and I put it into lyrical form. And so content wise, there's one song on there that's like, but it fits the whole aesthetic of the album. But it's one song, and it's not preachy. That'd be like SMF. That was preachy. It's not. It's actually SNF wasn't preachy, but it stands its own. It's just its own thing, and it's solid, in my opinion. And of course, I make music for me. It's a kind of album where I don't know, but it's hard to say. I won't know until I release it. But I didn't make it for other people. Although it's not so much, like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. You guys are going to have to hear it and just let me know what you think. But it's really good, like, on a technical aspect. Like, I went back in there and it would fade out about 2 seconds. Just enough time for you to catch your breath, and then boom, the next one comes in. And then, like, my intros are kind of messed up because I didn't want to talk like, so it's just music, and then just to break that 4 bar, yo, because if I took it out, it's just music. So a couple of them I try to change it up. The fades outs are pretty good. There's one where I want to sing on it, but I want it to be perfect, so it's just kind of space. And yeah, man, I love it. And this is the first time I put an album up it's all explicit. They're not, I say fucking shit and all that shit probably in every song. Not all, but it's not like just gratuitous swearing, sailors talk. But yeah, I'm really excited. And just this one is just like cause now I got a system. I'm gonna start cranking them out. I mean, right now I'm working on the Christmas album. One's gonna be a beat tape like I did, and then one's gonna be a Christmas rap album. I never did one before, so look out for that. And yeah, and someone hit me up on Fiverr today. They're like, yo, can you rap? Can you make a video of you rapping, but not with music, of you doing like debating for a TOEFL, which is crazy because we're talking like he lived in China. He was a teacher in China for 15 years. I was a teacher in Japan for 15 years. That's pretty cool. He's kind of doing the idea that I had. I mean, it's on a higher level because I always taught little kids. So that's cool. So I got to figure out the Fiverr thing. I guess what I need to do for Fiverr is just keep putting new content, because, if you're not active, I don't know how people find me on there, but he found me. But if I keep putting stuff, actively putting out what I can do, maybe I get more gigs. Because it's going to be easy. Like he says, he doesn't want music, 45 seconds, and just have like a debate. My whole album sounds like that, more or less. Well, one side of the debate. But yeah, anyway, let me go home because I would have been home now if I didn't. 5 to 6. Yeah, I would have been getting home now. All right. Peace. Thank you for watching. And yeah, we probably won't talk, but happy Halloween and all that good stuff. Peace.